so we're doing a Patreon video today, exclusive for you guys, and I'm making this video available to all my $1 tiers and up, just because I feel horrible about letting all of you guys down constantly with this Patreon page. So I'm giving everyone access to this video. But yeah, hopefully we can get back into the swing of things with this Patreon and I can actually follow through on the promises that I made. Anyway, we got a lot of background noise going on. We got a trash truck, the train's going on, my cat is making noise. Anyway, we're just gonna push through, continue on with this video. I do have an ulterior motive for posting this video specifically on my Patreon, and that is because I don't want any person who is involved in any of these stories to see the video. And I feel like the chances are a lot less likely if it's just on my Patreon and it's through a paywall. But also I thought this would be a really entertaining video for you guys. I rarely tell story times or anything like that. So I thought you can laugh at my misfortune and I could tell you my most embarrassing stories, because it'll, if anything, just prove to you how human I am, because I'm not too excited about filming these stories or like telling you these stories because they're so awkward and very uncomfortable for me, but hopefully you enjoy them. So we're actually going to go backwards in time. How many stories do I have? I wrote some of them down. I have 5 stories technically. 2 of the stories happen on the same day at the same event, so they kind of go hand in hand. But I have 4 tales to tell you basically, and I'm gonna go backwards in time. So we're gonna start with the most recent and we'll go all the way back to when I was 17. So that's the span of time. I'm not counting embarrassing things that happened when I was a child, because you're just embarrassed easily. You know, I'm talking about the real hard-hitting embarrassment as an adult. So for the first story, the setting is a baby shower. I threw the baby shower for my best friend Sam, who is due in April, technically April 1st, but hopefully she doesn't give birth that day, I don't know. Anyway, so as the best friend, I threw the baby shower for her, and it actually happened February 10th was the day of the shower, so that's how recent it was. And I had a few uncomfortable moments. I am just an awkward human being. I'm different and weird, and I don't know, I'm just not great in social situations, especially people I don't know. I knew a couple of the people that were going to the shower, and I had met a few others, so they were like, you know, I knew of them. I've met them once before. Pepe, what are you doing? So there were 2 instances of this shower with 2 people that I had never met before that were so uncomfortable for me. The first one that happened first in the day was I was sitting or standing in the kitchen with Sam's mom and her neighbor. You know, casually in conversation, as you do, you ask, what do you do? Where do you work? Things like that, which I hate that question because I have to get into the whole thing of doing YouTube. Just kind of awkward for me to explain to people, new people who don't know me, what I do. So she, of course, the neighbor, asked me, where do you work? Do you work around here? And I said, oh, I work from home. I actually do YouTube videos for a living. That's usually how I phrase it. And of course, they always have questions, you know? She didn't really have any questions. She actually didn't say anything really, and then Sam's mom chimed in and said, oh yeah, they're really great here. She has like a whole channel and everything. She pulls out her phone. She's like, here, I'll pull it up for you. That's always my reaction. I don't want you to play my videos in front of me. I don't need to hear it again. It was already bad enough me editing it. I don't need to, you know, watch the video with you. So she pulls up my channel on her phone. I don't have the relationship to be like, you know, can you not do that? I'm not there, so I just let her. And I'm just a bystander in this situation. And so she pulls up my channel, and she pulls up, I'll just do it. She pulls up my video list, and she, or my channel that is, hands it to the other woman and says, here, just click on any of them. Pick any of them. Just watch one. We're at a baby shower. Now's not the time to like watch a video. Anyway, so she picks one, and she picks the most stigmatized mental illnesses. You know, mental health is not a topic everyone's comfortable talking about. I'm very comfortable talking about it. I'll tell you all about my mental illnesses. You know, I'm very open. Not everyone's like that, and this woman was not like that. So she clicks on the video and she goes like this, and she's listening to the video while Sam's mom and I are kind of talking or whatever. It's just awkward small talk because I'm like really uncomfortable with the situation. I can hear myself talking as she's listening to this video at this baby shower. She listens to maybe like 2 minutes of it, hears, you know, what I'm saying, just kind of looks at it, pauses it, hands the phone back to Sam's mom, and walks away. She doesn't say a word about it. She doesn't look at me. She doesn't say anything. And she doesn't speak to me again until she says goodbye at the end of the party. So I felt so uncomfortable the rest of the day with that around her because she probably, I don't know what she thinks. I'm not ashamed of the topics I talk about online or what I talk about or what I do even. I'm not ashamed. I'm very proud of what I do. And she clearly had some judgments about that because she was not comfortable listening to me talking about mental illnesses, which is fine. It's not for everyone. I'm here to break that and, like, you know, reduce that stigma and allow people to be comfortable talking about that kind of thing. She wasn't here for it. The next story that happens, the same baby shower. I just want to say also, I had a great time at this baby shower. Sam's my best friend and I'm so excited for her and her baby girl, and I could not be more honored to have thrown this party for her. So I don't want it to come across as I'm complaining that I had a miserable time or anything. These were small isolated incidents in comparison to like a great day. So I just want to throw that out there. I had a great time. So the second instance, I bought a cake for the party, and you know, we forgot to bring the cake out when a lot of people were still there. So after maybe like 3/4 of the people had already left, I was like, the cake! So I was embarrassed about the cake as well. That's a whole nother thing. I ordered it from Bel Air. I wanted it to say it's a girl. It was delicious. It looked boring. It looked like this. I'll put a picture. Very plain, so I had to add some embellishments to it myself because there's a lot of white space there, you know? Anyway, that's not really the embarrassing part, although I was embarrassed to reveal it because I thought it was like a big reveal and I knew people were like, oh, cute. It's a cake where I'm about to cut into it, right? Well, that's where it gets weird. Sam was like, oh, do you want to cut the cake? So I was like, sure. I've never cut a cake in my life, and I know that sounds really strange. I've never cut a cake for a party. I've always cut them like at home or like, I don't know. And I was very nervous most of the day because I was around a lot of people I didn't know. So we get a knife eventually and a spatula, whatever, to scoop it. I start cutting it and I realize I'm cutting a huge like chunk of cake. And I'm like, ooh, that's big. I continue to cut it, you know, cut big pieces, and there's a little girl there, she's 5, and she's very excited for this cake. She's first in line, she's right next to me, and she is very excited, and she tells me what section of the cake she wants, so I cut a piece for her. And I'm like, ooh, that's a big piece, but I give it to her and I'm like, oh gosh. And I couldn't take it back, you know, she's 5. And so she walks away, walks over to her mom. Her mom says, wow, that's a big piece of cake in front of everyone, right? Which at first I'm like, I'm sorry, you know? And then she says, we let the woman without kids cut the cake. And I was like, oh my God, I was mortified. And I know it doesn't sound like that embarrassing, but there were a lot of people still in the kitchen when this was happening, and I turned beet red. I started laughing because Sam started laughing, so I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like, I apologized and I'm like, I'm so sorry. You know, they ended up splitting the cake, so the little girl didn't eat the whole thing, but I felt horrible. Like, I am horrible with children. I don't think you guys realize that, but I'm very bad with kids. I've never been around kids. Anyway, so her saying that, I was so embarrassed in that moment, and I could feel my face turning so red. I actually went up to her later after this happened and apologized again. I was like, I'm really sorry about the cake, and she was like, no, it's fine, I was just joking, you know. So it was resolved. Like, I felt like it was I had to resolve it myself. Like, I had to go up to her and say something because I was so mortified in that moment. So I just wanted to, you know, clear the air a little bit and tell her I'm very sorry, and then she, you know, said she was kidding, so I was like, okay, cool. Okay, so the next story happens when I am, I don't know, getting a new phone. signing up for a phone plan. I don't know. Sarah, one of my other best friends, Sarah number 2, and I were there at T-Mobile, and we have had some horrible experiences at T-Mobile, so much so that I've actually taken it out on someone on the phone who works with T-Mobile, and I am not that person to be rude to someone on the phone or anything like that, or an employee, but I've had my moments. This is like our first time there, and there's these 3 guys working at this T-Mobile, and there were a couple instances in this situation that I felt completely uncomfortable. The first being, I went in there, no makeup, just, you know, I'm just getting a phone or signing up for a phone plan. I don't remember exactly what we were doing. Just getting a phone, whatever. So it comes time to give him my ID. I give him my ID and my driver's license picture. I'll put it right here. It looks like this. You know, I have makeup on in the photo. I am very happy with my photo. I know most people aren't. My cat is just walking around everywhere with his cone. Here, you want to come up? Okay, here he is. Poor guy. Anyway, so I hand him my ID, and the guy looks at it and says, "Whoa, who is that?" And then he said, "You should come in here looking like that." Who says that to someone? I don't care about your opinion. I don't need to look good for you. Could care less if I have makeup on my face for you. I could care less if you think I'm pretty in my driver's license photo. Thanks, but I don't care. I didn't ask. I never asked. I don't care. I was very, like, offended in that moment, and he then proceeds to call the 2 other guys over to look at my driver's license and say, "Look at this photo. Doesn't she look so different?" I wasn't embarrassed. I was just really, really pissed off. That's not the embarrassing part yet. That's just one other story that happened in the same, you know, thing that I was doing here. They asked the question, "What do you do?" I hate this question, like I said. So I explained to them what I do. They actually signed me up for a business phone plan, which is nice of them. So I have a business phone plan, which is cool. I don't really know what the perks are actually to that. Anyway, so they decide to look up my channel right then and there. Not the time or the place. Write it down. You know, I'll give you my channel name. That's fine. You can watch it on your own time. I don't want to be in the room when you watch my videos. But it gets worse. It's not that they just looked it up on the computer right then. They turn the monitor around and they say, "Is this you?" And I say, "Yes, it is." And they say, "Wow, you have a lot of subscribers." And then they click on a video, and the video begins playing over the speakers in the store. So now everyone in the store is now listening to me, who's in the store as well, talk in a video. They're just listening to my video over the loudspeakers of this whole store. Again, mortified. I wanted to leave my skin. I wanted to just fall through the floor. Anything to just leave. I felt very uncomfortable. And I told them too, I was like, "This is really awkward. Like, I don't want to hear my voice right now over a speaker system in a store." They laughed and didn't really do anything. So a bunch of them were fired / quit. There's always new people in that T-Mobile store all the time. So I'm guessing they have a high turnaround rate. They've had some really sketchy people there, people talking me into things, and then charging me for them later after telling me it was free. So that's why I get very annoyed at T-Mobile a lot of the time. But they have that unlimited data, you know? Okay, so the next embarrassing story is something that isn't necessarily public. Like, I wasn't embarrassed for other people to see me or anything, or like an experience in front of people. It was just, looking back, it's one of the most cringy experiences of my life, and I wish I could take it back. So one day I am on the phone and my friend walks into my bedroom and she has a vape pen. I think you know where this is going. And she's vaping away, and I'm like, what is that? What are you doing? And so I get off the phone, and she's like, "Here, try this." And I try it, and I'm like, "Ooh, that tastes really good. What is that?" And then I don't know what it was. But anyway, so we're sitting there vaping away, and she's like, "You should get one." She's like, "I just got mine at the smoke shop on the corner. We should go get you one." So guess who goes and gets a vape pen? No nicotine, by the way. No, we were the losers who were like, "Where's the 0 milligram juice?" We vaped for maybe a good 2 weeks or so of just 0 nicotine. No reason at all. There's nothing in it. It just tastes good. Thought we'd look cool, you know? That's so cringy to me that I did that for that long and thought it was like a cool thing. And I was like, what, 23? Okay, so the last one, I just got really nervous talk about this last one, It's the finale. Are you guys ready? I'm hoping most of you stopped watching by now because I am very embarrassed about this story to the point where not a lot of people know about it, because it's actually horrifying when I tell you. You're going to cringe out of your skin. So, you know, I can't even say it. I became sexually active when I was 17 years old. I've talked about this in the past. I did a video, my first time, whatever, talking about when I lost my virginity, whatever. Anyway, I started becoming sexually active at 17 years old, okay? Lived with my parents, obviously, my mom and my stepdad at the time, and my stepbrother. Now, I had a room in the back of the house. I was learning in this process, and let's just say I was not the most subtle person when it came to having sex, okay? I think you know where this is going. It's so embarrassing. Oh my god. This is the worst moment of my life, by the way. Moments of my life. So not subtle at all. Not trying to hide anything, or I don't even know what I was thinking. What was I thinking? What was I thinking? No respect for anyone else in the house when I decided to do this with my boyfriend at the time. I'm very open with my mom and my stepdad about that kind of stuff. You know, I've talked to my mom about sex my whole life, and she's very open with me. That's not even taboo. That's maybe why I felt comfortable just sharing my sex life with the world at that point. But obviously there is a respect level of not doing it to disrespect your parents, and like, they shouldn't hear anything, you know, they shouldn't, and they did, and it was very uncomfortable. But it gets worse. So Bill, my stepdad, made fun of me back in the day for this because he, you know, could hear things. And one day he decided to mock me and basically reenact what he had heard from my bedroom. Now, can you imagine your stepfather mimicking you, what you sound like having sex? Just gonna literally the Simpsons gif right now. That was by far the most mortifying experience of my life. Nothing will ever hold a candle to that. Looking back, I don't think I ever made a peep after that. Yeah, no. So there you have my most embarrassing, traumatic stories of my life, and things that I just wish never happened to me, you know? But, you know, we're all human. We all experience embarrassment. There's nothing wrong with that. It is a normal human emotion. Things just happen. It's just the way of life and being a human. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to leave your most embarrassing stories down in the comments if you care to share. Granted, not a lot of people are going to watch this video, so do keep that in mind. If you know, it's not like it's going on my main channel where thousands of people will see your embarrassing story. It's just the Patreon fam. So if you feel comfortable enough to share, I think we'd all like to read your stories and be embarrassed with you and cringe with you. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.